Panthers head coach Matt Rhule joins us now
YouTube,
on the Mac
Facebook,
Attack
Twitter, it's your
Offense. Hey,
boy Pat
Coach,
Coltrane.
we
What's up with you, baby
appreciate you
Bubba?
being a stand-up dude
I
and coming on
said,
here
baby
with us, man. How you
Bubba,
doing this morning?
what's up with you? We got to get right into this, man. We gonna have to get right into this, man. You hear me? I ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time on it because I was not even planning on going live. But if y'all have not heard this interview, I don't know where that sound was coming from just now. If y'all have not heard this interview with Matt Rhule on WFNZ, the Mac Attack Show, we about to go through it, man. What's up? What's up? So that's the main reason I came up. That sound threw me off. My bad. We're about to go through it real quick, man. Okay. The interview look like it's about 30 minutes long. And it's kind of got, it's a little buzz on the internet, man. But I just want to say, I need y'all to pay attention. Matt Rhule ain't never going to get it, y'all. Never, ever. Never, ever, man. Okay? And I see a lot of Panther fans, I seen somebody say, why y'all hating on Matt Rhule? Why so much hate, man? Nobody don't hate this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? But he really ain't a good coach. Ain't nobody trying to stick around. People pay for tickets and stuff. Ain't nobody trying to stick around for this, man. And we're going to get into this interview. And we're going to break it down. And I want y'all to listen to this dude. I want y'all to listen to this guy. As we go through this, I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to this nonsense. This a doggone shame. Y'all get them likes up. Y'all hit that like button one time. I'm gonna let a few more people get up in here. Man, cause I just jumped on. I really wasn't even ready. Man. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Let's get some shout outs in while some folks come up in here, man. Let's get some shout outs in here. Anonymous, Leon Norman, J Cook, CLB, C, what's up with you? D Cash, Mr. Cam, Mr. Super Cam 1991, Bobby P, B Diva, what's going on with you? You know it. Y'all know I have like these little spurts. Like I can drop about 4 or 5 lives in a week, and then next week I'll be like, y'all, I'm taking 2 weeks off. Ms. Rain, Trey HG, what's going on? JB2. Popping bullets. First, what's up with you? The game guy. Jack 2 times. KJ Longway, Omar Tillman. My man's 9 Lives Panther podcast up in here. What's up with you? The real black male. Stevie Tay. Caleb Dixon. E. Ellis 1829. James E. Mikey Mike Doe. What's up with your ICP? I see my man Jared Costin up in here. Brian Garrido. What's up with you? Garrigo. I messed that up. My bad, dog. Shelton Guy. King Geechee. Caleb Dixon. What's up? Give me a couple more likes, and then we're gonna get into this. Audio, man, cause it's a mess. Okay, this audio is a mess. You hear me? This audio is a straight up mess, man. All right, let's talk about it. So first and foremost, let me go ahead and say this. Shout out to Matt Rhule for even doing this interview. Shout out to the Mac Attack Show. I don't really listen to this show like that because for one, we don't get it on the radio here. But for two, it just ain't my, it is what it is. I just don't listen to it. But shout out to them. They asked some really, really good questions. They asked the questions that the fans want to hear. They really need to put them in the doggone pressers. Give them a press pass. Give them their credentials. Because they ask some really, really good questions. Eddie, what's up with you, man? What's up? What's up? Tyree Ross, what's up with you? True, when I gave you a shout out, it don't even matter. You get 2 of them. If I did. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to this. Let's get to this mess.
Rhule joins us now on the Mac Attack on FNZ. Coach, we appreciate you being a stand-up dude and coming on here with us, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm great. I'm glad to be on with you guys. Can
everybody hear that? I need y'all to make sure y'all can hear this mark loud and clear. Everybody can hear that? SC Base, what's up with you? What's up with you? I'm on my lunch break. Don't even worry about it. I'm on my lunch break, so I only got an hour. I'm on my lunch break. All right, let's get to it. Appreciate that.
All right, thank you so much for coming on. The first thing, because you're hearing all these various reports, I know you probably hear about them too, and it creates this, confusion among the fans. There's been this talk that, hey, your OC hire, you have the Jay Glazer report, the OC hire is going to maybe determine if Matt Rhule stays. Like, have you been told that hey, your status hinges on the hire? Have you been told flat out by David Tepper, hey, you're safe, chill out, don't listen to this, you're safe?
Yeah, I've never been told that my
He's stuttering real good. How hard is to answer that, man? He's stuttering real good. Okay. Like, just answer it. That man was stuttering real good. That sounds like a remix.
Status depends on who I hire. In fact, every conversation I've had with David Tepper has been, I think I saw him twice Monday, twice Tuesday. It's always been long-term vision. Like, hey, we know what we need to do. We know we need to build the backbone of the team. To control the line of scrimmage. We know we need to solidify ourselves at quarterback. We know we need to, get the staff where we want it. So it's all been that. So, I've been pretty consistent. I'm smart enough to know I'm not going to speak for somebody. I'm not going to speak for the owner, but he's never talked any other way other than, hey, go out and hire a great staff, guys you believe in. But more importantly, let's turn our attention to free agency, both our own guys that we want to re-sign, and then let's get started on the next guys. Let's get ready for the Senior Bowl, the East-West game, and then let's attack the draft. And hopefully, guys, there's a combine this year, and we can attack all those things.
Yeah. Coach, you use the word process a lot in talking about building your program here, but it seems to hit a regression this year and gone backwards.
That's a good question.
Why do you think the process in your mind is still working the way you think it is?
Well, and let me just say this. Like, I think when
Y'all, I have not listened to this whole interview yet. Let me just go and say that. But every question, if you're going to stutter like this, man, like, come on now. You sound like you lying. Come on now, get it together.
Say that, okay. I just try to say, like, hey, we have a goal we want to get to. We want to build a Super Bowl champion. I think when we took over in 2019, it was the end of a great run, and it was a time for a turnover. It was time to rebuild the roster. So there had to just be a plan in place. And so when I say the word process, I just mean like, hey, just methodically, just trying to attack that plan. At first I was doing it with Marty. Now I'm doing it with Scott. And man, this is a players' league, and so you have to revamp the roster. And there were some good pieces left over. Guys like Shaq Thompson, guys like Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. But we lost a lot of great pieces: the Luke Kuechlys, the James Bradburys, the Greg Olsons, just go on and on and on and on. So
now, this is the part I really want to touch on. Now, you hear how he talking about this? Oh, we lost a lot of great pieces. This is your fault. Why are you talking like ain't nobody else been part of, like, First, it sounds like you're trying to put the blame on Marty and Scott. I was with Marty, and then I had to go now with Scott, and we lost a lot of great pieces. James Bradbury, you lost James Bradbury. Yeah. And then everybody know you pushed Greg Olsen and Luke Kuechly. We know you pushed them out. Yeah. Please stop, man.
Year two, the record's the same. It's 5-12, man. It absolutely infuriates me and pisses me off. It makes me mad.
The record not the same. Year two, the record is not the same. They gave you an extra game and you lost it. The record not the same. You don't make it look like just lateral. You are regressing.
I mean, I'm not sitting here saying like, hey guys, everything's fine. But I do have to do a good job of taking a 50,000-foot view and saying, okay, how do we have a roster like they had in 2015? Well, the way you do that is Derek Brown, becomes a great player. Brian Burns becomes a Pro Bowler. J.C. Horn becomes one of the top corners in the National Football League. Jeremy Chin becomes a dominant player. DJ Moore becomes a dominant player. Christian McCaffrey, we get him healthy, he becomes a dominant player. Timo, we re-signed Timo, but we build the O-line along. So it's not where you want it to be, but I think the steps we made defensively this year, and they weren't enough. I can tell you, if you talk to Phil Snow, he's not satisfied at all with defense.
Stop bringing other people naming it is. We talking to you.
Healthy up until kind of the end of the year. I think we were one of the better defenses in the National Football League. It's just that you can't do that on both sides of the ball in the modern era. In today's draft, when the salary cap went backwards, it wasn't like we had more money to go out and make.
What? Please tell me you ain't sounding that pitiful. Let me run this back just a little bit. How I run this thing back? Let me run this back, because I know you ain't just say what I just thought you had said when you had said what you just said.
Steps we made defensively this year, and they weren't enough. I can tell you, if you talk to Phil Snow, he's not satisfied at all with defense. But when we had our guys out there, we were pretty healthy up until kind of the end of the year. I think we were one of the better defenses in the National Football League. It's just that you can't do that on both sides of the ball in the modern era. In today's draft, when the salary cap went backwards, it wasn't like we had more money to go out.
Oh my gosh. How many is, man, how did you fit all them excuses into one sentence? First you say you can't do that on both sides of the ball. Where these championship teams come from then? What is you talking about? Now you talking about salary cap, roll back, and what is you talking about? Oh my gosh. You can't do that. You can't have a good offense and a good defense. Gee. Oh my gosh. Matt, I promise you, I didn't even get this far when I first started listening to it. I didn't even get this far.
Make big signings. So I feel like the roster's better now than it was after the exodus of 2019. I feel like guys like Tommy Tremble and Brady Christensen, Terrace Marshall, they got their feet wet this year, but they're going to be good players. So, when I say the process is working, I don't mean that we had a good year this year, and I don't mean that anyone shouldn't be angry about this year. But I just believe that this is a players' league. This is a talent acquisition league, and we lost a lot of great players at the end of 2017, 2018, 2019. I go back and watch that All or Nothing.
Okay, y'all, I'm going to be honest. My comprehension be low sometimes. So they asked him about the process, and he said when he said the process is working, it doesn't mean that we had a good year. So what was it that he said the process is working? Because I don't understand. Because of the players that we potentially have? Because you got players on your roster? I don't understand. I don't understand that part. Be honest. I ain't afraid to admit when I understand that.
Sometimes that they did. I think it was 2018, right? And I mean, it's Julius Peppers, it's Ryan Khalil, it's Luke Kuechly,
right.
It's Greg Olsen, it's Cam Newton. It's some of the best players to play this game. It's Pro Bowlers, the Hall of Famers. So the goal is to get back to that type of a roster, and that's by developing our own players, but also bringing in a bunch of young players, and then hopefully now being able to have some money to sign some guys in free agency to help put us over the top.
Coach, you talk about building that roster, right, and building it back and getting back to where we have this next generation of great players in Carolina. The way you've gone about building the roster, and it was you with Marty for 1 year, you and Scott Fitterer for this second year, it's been very heavy on the defensive side of the ball, and I love watching this defense play, and it shows, right, from 18th to 2nd in the rankings. But the offense has really struggled as a result of that. The offensive line, it feels like, hasn't been addressed, near sufficiently. The quarterback situation is still in flux. Like, do you look at this and still believe we're doing it the right way, or do you kind of look back and wish you did it a little more balanced in terms of, maybe addressing some of that offensive stuff and not going so heavy defense?
Yeah, it's always hard. I'll be honest. Not because that's my ego or because I want to say I was wrong. It's hard for me always to say, hey, we made a mistake here.
It is. You hit the nail on the head. I'm curious to see what this man about to say.
Because that guy's still playing for us, and I'd hate to hear one of our players hear me say, like, yeah, I never should have signed this guy, right? So I hope when you guys hear me and when fans hear me and I don't throw a player under the bus, they understand that, like, one thing I know I didn't do this year is the guys played to the very end of the season. We never lost the roster, and one of the reasons why we never lost the team is because we never blamed the team. It was always, hey, we have to just get better. And all that being said, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, like when we got here, we thought because in free agency, we went out, we got Robbie Anderson, we signed Russell Okung, who was at the time was a Pro Bowl left tackle. We tried to address the offense, which had been in pretty good shape. Like the year before, Marty had drafted Greg Little in the 2nd round. So we had Taylor Moton at right tackle, who looked like was going to be a guy that we would re-sign, which we ended up doing. We had traded up to draft Greg Little before I got here, so there was a young left tackle who had been hurt, but it seemed like, hey, maybe
Y'all hear this dude? This is hilarious. Yo, I am flabbergasted. I didn't even know when to stop it because it was just, the lie was just so long. The lie was just so long. And it started with him saying, I don't throw guys up under the bus. One of the reasons why we still had a roster is because I don't throw guys up under the bus. And then you start throwing people up under the bus as this lie went on. Yo, I'm gonna put the link in the description if you don't want my commentary, FYI. But I got to rewind this.
Russell Okung, who was at the time was a Pro Bowl left tackle. We tried to address the offense, which had been in pretty good shape. Like the year before, Marty had drafted Greg Little in the 2nd round. So we had Taylor Moton at right tackle, who looked like,
you heard him. He said Marty did that. Marty did that.
Was going to be a guy that we would re-sign, which we ended up doing. We had traded up to draft Greg Little before I got here, so there was a young
before I got here, just FYI.
Left tackle who had been hurt, but it seemed like, hey, maybe he's the future. We added in a Pro Bowler and Russell Okung. We had Matt Paradis, who unfortunately got hurt this year. So the offensive line, just kind of where we are right now, was not where we were, going into 2020. You had Ian Thomas, who people were high on, and Chris Manhurst, who ended up getting picked.
Who people were high on? People like who? What are you talking about? Why are you sitting up here lying for no reason? Who was high on Ian Thomas? Who? Who, man? Who? Man.
A lot of money. So I think we tried to address the offense that year. You had CMC. We tried to address it in free agency. We signed Teddy. We signed Robbie. We brought in Russell, and we had some veterans there. If you looked over at what happened on defense, I think there was 9 free agents that year on defense coming off the defense from 2019, and I think they all left. Like, that might be 8 of the 9 left, and then obviously Luke retired. So it wasn't really a matter of, hey, what's our preference? When we looked at the D-line board, there was K'Wan Short. At outside backer, there was Brian Burns and Marquise Haynes. I think there was F.A. Obata, and there was no one else. Marty had already decided to let Mario go. Vernon Butler was leaving.
Marty had already, boy, oh my gosh, this sickening, man. This sickening. Matt, you terrible, dog. You terrible. Marty. Okay.
Gerald McCoy was leaving. Terry Poe was
okay.
leaving.
Okay.
I might be forgetting somebody. So it was like, how are we going to line up on defense? Not necessarily, hey, my preference is to rebuild the defensive line. So all that being said, last year in the draft, you get to the draft, you're sitting there saying, hey, we're either going to take a corner because of our issues the year before, or an offensive lineman. You had Penei Sewell, you had J.C. Horn. Penny went before us. J.C. was there. Guys, I'll be honest with you, I think J.C. Horn's going to be a fundamental piece of Carolina's success for a long time. I would take J.C. Horn again. And
No, he's not. He might be a fundamental piece for like 3 years. Please stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Same thing that happened to James Bradbury that's going to happen to Dante is going to happen to JC too. 3 to 4 years, and then he might be on another team somewhere. That's what's going to happen. He's not going to be a pillar. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be Luke. You know what I'm saying? He's not.
That he got hurt, but I'd take him 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, but you passed on Slater though. Passing on Rashawn Slater
right.
in hindsight, I think frustrates a lot of fans.
Yeah, and that was a harder decision. Rashawn hadn't played the year before. He wasn't ideal tackle size. There was a lot of questions as, hey, is he a guard? Same thing with Elijah Vera Tucker. And it was really, hey, are you going to take a guy who's a guard at this number? I think Rashawn. I've had a chance to go back and watch Rashawn. He's playing out in the Chargers with a really mobile quarterback. He's a really good player. I think if JC would have played this whole year, if you go back to that Saints game, he was dominant. Had he played the whole year, I think people would be really excited about JC.
Let me tell you. Okay, this is what he messed up at, and this what he's saying now is what is causing all the buzz. Okay, and now I'm hearing it, firsthand. Now he really messed up. He should have really just kept it about JC and your pick. Okay, you should have kept it really about JC Horn and why you picked him, because now you sound crazy, man. Now you sound crazy. You sound crazy, and you got us looking crazy out here in these streets. Tepper, he got you looking crazy out here. He messed up. You really try to analyze. You really this man is an all-pro tackle, okay, who could arguably be the rookie of the year. And you going to sit up here and tell the world that you didn't see his talent. Everybody saw how good this dude was. Everybody saw he was a talent. But you going to sit up here and tell him, he's not out of his size, and we really didn't want to guard. For real. For real. I want you off my team, man. I want you gone. This ain't no hate. This ain't no hate. I wish you all the best. I want you to get another job somewhere else. I wish y'all prosperity. Okay? But you just sat up in here and said you saw an all-pro tackle. Everybody saw it, especially me. I work in health insurance. I ain't no scout. Okay? I ain't no scout. And I saw that Rashawn Slater was a good tackle. I say he was better than Penei Sewell. I say he was better than him. I said that. And you around this, you used to be an offensive line coordinator or whatever you call it, coach or assistant coach, whatever you was. You see this. And you worried about building a Madden player. He's not the ideal size for a tackle. And then you try to say the only reason it worked. Because he got a mobile quarterback. Don't think I ain't just heard you say that. You try to catch me off guard because I just told you I got a comprehension problem. But I heard you just say, he has a mobile quarterback. You sound crazy. I want you off my team. Man. I want you gone. Y'all, listen to this mess, man. Let me run it back a little teeny tiny bit. I don't even know how far back it was, but let's start about right there.
He had already decided to let Mario go.
Oh, that's too far.
Vernon Butler was leaving.
Passed on Slater though.
Here we go.
Passing on Rashawn Slater in hindsight, I think frustrates a lot of fans.
Yeah, and that was a harder decision. Rashawn hadn't played the year before. he wasn't ideal tackle size.
I can't stand
There was a lot of questions as, hey, is he a guard? Same thing with a lot.
Who had these questions? You had a lot of questions. Who had a lot of questions? Because now, and we gonna get to Scott in a minute. Now Scott's saying it's ways to coach around players who are not the ideal size for a tackle. So is it you that had the question? Because I don't think Scott had the question. I don't think Scott had the questions.
Javera Tucker, and it was really, hey, are you going to take a guy who's a guard at this number? I think Rashawn. I've had a chance to go back and watch Rashawn. He's playing out in the Chargers with a really mobile quarterback. He's a really good player. I think if JC would have played this whole year, if you go back to that Saints game, he was dominant. Had he played the whole year, I think people would be really excited about JC. But we both know that the issues are the issues. When you lose games, then
See, you messed up. You see what I'm saying? You messed up. That's how you started stuttering. You ended that whole line with a stutter. You was better off just talking about JC and how well he's been playing before he got injured. You should have kept it at that, man. Because I don't like the pick, but it's a bunch of Panther fans who love that pick, and they probably would have rolled with you. But I'm glad you said that, because now the Panther fans, I want y'all to see the reason y'all think like Matt Rhule. Y'all think like Matt Rhule. If you believe that J.C. Horn was the better pick, better than picking up Rashawn Slater, you thinking like Matt Rhule. And I want you to see what he think and why he passed on J.C. Horn. Now, why you passed on? Not passed on J.C. Horn, passed on Rashawn Slater. Now, why you passed on Rashawn Slater? Man.
Everyone's going to be frustrated. I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. Yeah. Fans are frustrated, and they should be. And so, passing on Rashawn, that's something that I know people bring up. I just hope you guys understand. For me, when I walk in that locker room, J.C. Horn has to look at me and say, like, hey, that guy believes in me. And I think he was on his. We thought he was on his way to Defensive Rookie of the Year, the way he played.
He was playing great.
Game. So,
that man was not getting no Defensive Rookie of the Year, man. I'm sorry. He was not getting no Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay? His position was definitely not going to allow that to happen. The way they was using Micah Parsons all over the field, man. Y'all saw what Jeremy Chin did last year, and they didn't give him Rookie of the Year. You think they was going to give J.C. Horn Rookie of the Year for covering a couple of receivers, man? It's not going to happen, man. It wasn't going to happen. And then for you to say, y'all got to understand, I can't go into a locker room and say J.C. Horn, tell J.C. Horn we passed on Rashawn Slater and make it. What is it then? What is it? You ain't got to do that if you truly feel like J.C. Horn was the right pick. What is that? Don't use that as no excuse. If you feel like J.C. Horn was the right pick, say that. You didn't even have to mention, yeah, y'all got to understand, I can't go in the locker room and say, JC, we should have got this guy and this, that. Ain't nobody ask you to do that. If you truly believe J.C. Horn was the right pick, then say that. You don't even have to bring that up. Grandizer 12, Doug Brigman, what's going on with you? My man's Joe Clarity, LaCara Beatty, Trap, what's up with you? Let's see. Ruben Terry, Forever to Thee.
We'll see how he plays moving forward. He looks healthy, and I know he's got an edge about him that is special. So, but we know where we need to go next, and I just think for me, guys, to be able to turn the roster over in a year, and again, when I say turn, I'm talking as the coach. We had a great conversation yesterday. Marty ran the draft 2 years ago. Scott did a great job running the draft last year. I'm not sitting in my office, up in some tower running the entire.
Oh my gosh! Hey, now look. Did y'all hear that? Let me run this back. Let me pretty please. Can I please run this back? Let me run this back one time for the one time. I got to run this back. He did not just say what I thought he had said when he said what I thought he had said.
And so, passing on Rashawn.
Okay,
that's something that I know people bring up. I just hope you guys understand. For me, when I walk in that locker room, J.C. Horn has to look at me and say, like, hey, that guy believes in me. And I think he was on his. We thought he was on his way to Defensive Rookie of the Year. The way he played.
He was playing great.
Game. So we'll see how he plays moving forward. He looks healthy, and I know he's got an edge about him that is special. So, but we know where we need to go next. And I just think, for me, guys, to be able to turn the roster over in a year. And again, when I say
that thing was about to come out, he said, for me to be able to turn the roster over in a year, that thing was starting to come out. Then he started stuttering. Then he had to.
I'm talking as the coach. We had a great conversation yesterday. I mean, Marty ran the draft 2 years ago.
Marty ran the draft 2 years ago. Marty ran the draft. Okay. And now what?
Scott did a great job running the draft last year.
Marty did it 2 years ago. This year was Scott. Now, let me say this. Matt, you are throwing some people under the bus. I believe you. But now you're starting to throw people under the bus. Like I said, Matt Rhule wants the credit and none of the blame. He don't want to be at fault for nothing. And if people start attacking him, then he going to start pointing fingers. That's just that's his MO. You know what I'm saying? That's his MO. That's the culture he has developed. That's why when Teddy left up out of here, he started doing it. You see with Sam Darnold, when Sam Darnold starting to throw people under the bus. And I'm trying to tell y'all, y'all don't want to believe it. Y'all don't want to believe it. But Scott ain't all that. Okay? He ain't all that. I have said, let me tell y'all, I have said that all three of them are messing this team up, and Scott is playing his role. I do not believe for a second that Matt Rhule is controlling everything. Like he just that smart or that control. Like I just don't see it. He's not an alpha type. I believe they all are making these decisions. Some of them might weigh less than others on certain decisions, but I really believe that they all making these decisions. And for Matt to say Scott ran the draft this season, right? It's funny to me because now you're throwing Scott under the bus. You throwing Scott under the bus. This relationship almost over. This relationship almost over. Because Scott done threw him under the bus about the whole short arms comment. Now he throwing Scott under the bus saying, look, this draft was all on Scott. He ran the draft. But then you just said you picked you can't pass on J.C. Horn. Boy, you be lying like a mug. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I think this is everybody. This is everybody. Okay? But for you to sit up in here now and make it seem like it's all on Scott, you a snake. You a snake. It's you too. It's you too.
I'm not sitting in my office, up in some tower running the entire football operation, making the draft, doing the free agents. I'm a piece of this. I try to be a good piece of it. But there's tough decisions that are made that sometimes I have some influence in. Sometimes they're not what I want. But we're working as hard as we can together to make the fans happy and bring a winner here.
What? I don't get it. I do not get it. Hold on.
We had a great conversation yesterday. I mean, Marty ran the draft 2 years ago. Scott did a great job running the draft last year. I'm not sitting in my office, up in some tower running the entire football operation, making the draft, doing the free agents. I'm a piece of this.
He said, look, they try to put that thing all on me. They try to put it all on me, but I'm not the one. And look, I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe that you the main one. Like, you the main one. And everybody gonna say he got the final say. Y'all going off of a report that Joe Person punked out of. Like, he put all, and out. and that's why I don't really want to talk about that report no more. And I don't want to give it the gas that it, you know what I'm saying? I was glad people started bootlegging that mess. You put all of this out there, had everybody buzzing over it, and then you punk out in these pressers, and you had Sheena having to ask questions about this. But everybody saying he got the final say per Joe Person from an anonymous source. The stuff is on. Look at Camp Confidential. They are talking together. Okay, he might have the final say on some stuff. But I promise you, they all in this thing together. He might have the final say on some stuff. That's why he trying to tell y'all, look, it ain't just me. We know it ain't you. This you. You sorry though. You sorry. You do enough sorry. Okay, I don't care who you throw on the bus. I don't care who you throw on the bus. You do enough sorriness. I don't sit up here and then control this and control that. Scott, it's your turn. Scott, it's your turn. You hear me? Shoot. It's your turn. What you got to say about this? He trying to make it seem like this all on you. James, he says Scott is getting the guys Rhule can't coach. Tyrese Ross says, I can't agree, Pat. It seemed like Rhule was making the decision. Man, Tyree, dog. Come on, dog. I'm not going to continue. Go watch the Camp Confidential. What's y'all? Yes, he made some decisions, but don't sit up here and act like Scott wasn't doing nothing. Y'all gonna learn. Hey, look, y'all gonna learn. I ain't stressed about it. Y'all go watch the videos. It's videos of Scott. Scott wanted Terrace. Scott making these moves. Okay? And if Matt Rhule lying, Scott gonna come out and tell it, or he should. They are all making moves, and both of them have come out and said Dave Tepper are not in on these, but they both come together and come up with this stuff together. Y'all gonna learn. Let me finish this. Let me keep going. Sorry, y'all. I apologize. This is just
to be a
nonsense.
good piece of it, but there's tough decisions that are made that sometimes I have some influence in. Sometimes they're not what I want. But we're working as hard as we can together to make the fans happy and bring a winner here.
We're talking to Panthers head coach Matt Rhule here on the Technicom guest line. Coach, and talking about fan frustration, the fans have been loud and boisterous, whether it's on social media, at the Hornets games, chanting your name. They've made it known that how they feel about you right now. Do you hear that noise, and how do you respond to the fan backlash towards you right now?
I didn't hear it at the game. Obviously my son's on the field with me. He after the game he told me about it. My wife was at the game with our young daughters. She told me about it. My response to our kids is always, hey, if you want the good, you have to take the bad. And I know it was college and it was different, but there was a lot of backlash against me at Baylor. I was a guy from New York City that moved to Texas to replace a guy that had just almost taken them to the national championship game.
Okay, what are you saying?
Was fired wrongly, and all I did was take his championship program and go 1-11 the first year, and so I was not real popular there.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I learned to do was like, okay, well, people are mad because we're losing, so what should I do? I shouldn't cry about it. I should just try to get us to the point where we're winning. The Hornets game, I just kind of told Bryant, like, hey, buddy, I don't think we're going to be able to go to any Hornets games this year. And, I just try to be the best father that I can be.
Oh, gosh, y'all, you really play that card. This, and I did see people tweeting this. He really did play this card, man. What about the babies? What about the baby? What about my baby, man? Like Shaq Thompson say, I got kids. Who don't got kids, man? Hey, buddy. I don't think we're going to be able to go. Don't do that, man. You say you went through it in college. Man. This ain't about your kids. We love them churn, man. Okay, you got a beautiful family. All right? Talk about something else. You ain't had to bring your kids into it. Okay, this is football, and you get paid. You getting paid $8-9 million. You getting paid $8-9 million. Tell me, buddy, we can't go to the game. You can have LaMelo Ball, whatever, whoever the Ball brother on the team. You can have him come to your house. Hey, buddy, we can't go to the game. You want to go to LeVar house? Like we can't. You want to go to the Ball brothers house because we can't go to the game? You made $9 million. Nobody don't even want you at the game anyway, and ain't got nothing against your turn. Ain't nobody attacking. Ain't nobody saying fire Matt Rhule and them kids. Fire Matt Rhule and them and his wife. Get him out. Ain't nobody doing that. We talk about you being a bad coach. Ain't nobody talking about trying to hurt your feelings and attacking your family. And y'all better not do that. Y'all better not do that. Don't be that weirdo, man. Like, okay, leave them kids alone. Ain't nobody saying forget them kids or nothing. Like, we love the kids. We love your beautiful wife. Everybody, you got a beautiful family. Okay? Ain't nobody cussing your family out. If they is, come and get me. I got shooters on deck. But we talk about you, man. Okay? We talk about you. You talk about, man. Hey, little buddy. We can't go to the game. So now you're supposed to be like, oh, keep him on the team. Is that what you telling Tepper? When y'all coming into negotiations, and Tepper say, hey, man, I need to see you in the office real quick. Oh, okay, wait a second. I got to unbuckle my son out of his car seat. Ain't your son like 12 years old? I know, but he got a little something going on. I need to bring him in. I couldn't take him to the babysitter. I just got so much going on. Man, please. You going to be all right whether you fired or not. You going to find another job. Go back to Texas. And y'all loved it there. You remember, you was talking about how big your yard used to be in Texas and, and how Halloween and Christmas and stuff used to be in Texas. Don't go ahead on back there. We care about your family. Shoot. Hey, little buddy, we can't go to the game. They were saying fire Matt Rhule, and my son heard it. Well, tell him don't come to the... No, don't do that. I ain't gonna do all that. Stop booing my daddy. Man, please. Stop booing my daddy. Shoot. Man, don't care, man. Don't care. Don't be bringing the kids into it. Y'all hit that like button one time. Them is free, man. Them is free. Man. My kids heard it. My kids, man. They doing me like this. It ain't about your kids. We saying fire you. Fire you. You can stay in Charlotte as long as you want. I just don't want you on the team. I just don't want you coaching this team. I ain't got nothing against what his son's name is. He said Brian or Brad or something like. Ain't nobody got nothing against Brad. I hope he doing well in school. I hope he watching this, man. You the man, Brian. Whatever you do in school, man. I hope you get good grades and everything, man. You the man. To your kids, to your daughters, your wife. But you not good at coaching. And I'll tell Brian, hey, your dad not good at coaching, man. But y'all millionaires. Y'all got more money than me. Be proud of that. They booing you, daddy. I'm sorry.
So what does it impact me? No. I mean, I wish people were excited, but they'd be excited if we were winning. And no one's more angry that we're not winning yet than me. I just know that I've got to do the right things this offseason with Scott and with our coaches to get us there, so that people are excited next year. Does it affect my family? It absolutely affects my family. And so I feel bad sometimes that my job puts my kids in a position where they feel not wanted. But
Oh my God, y'all! I don't even want to listen to no more of this. I don't want to even listen to no more of this, dog. For real. How many of y'all? I'm telling y'all right now. I need to know real quick, who is harassing Matt Rhule kids? Who is making Matt Rhule kids feel unwanted? You doing this. If anything, they need to be calling the police on you. We ain't got nothing to do with them not feeling unwanted. Just because you doing a bad job, you the root cause of all of this. The fans doing this, my kids, man. My kids. How dare you? Ain't nobody say nothing about them kids. I'm be honest, I ain't even know how many kids you had until they started talking about them. Until I seen somebody post a picture of his family. I'm be honest, I ain't know how many kids he had. Even when he came to the team, I ain't know how many kids he had. I don't know what your kids' names is. I don't know your wife's name. She looked like a Ann. Okay? I don't know her name. I don't know nothing about your family. I don't know where you live at. I don't know nothing about you. All I know is you not a good coach. This started off about how you feel about them saying fire Rhule. How your kids get into this, man? Your kids at school right now. They in school right now. Ain't got nothing to do with this. And you brought them into this. You's a dirty joker, man. You dirty, man. You is dirty. For real, for real. My kids, man. Not like this. How could they hurt the churn? How could y'all hurt my kids, man? Look, you can attack me, but don't attack my kids, man. Who attacking your kids, man? Who doing that? JD54 says, did Rivera ever speak on his family? Not like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm be honest. I ain't never seen Ron Rivera's daughter. Like till like his 4th year, 5th year here. Then after he went to Washington, then they say, oh, his daughter used to work for the social media, the Panther. She used to help run the Panther social media. I didn't even know that. Every now and again, you'll see a video, a commercial with him and his wife and a dog. You ain't never seen his daughter in them commercials and stuff. You ain't never seen Ron Rivera get up there and say, yeah, man, it's hard as a father of a young lady. I want, people be attacking me, but my daughter got to see me like this. My daughter got to see me like this. You can attack me, but what about my daughter and my family and my wife? I ain't never seen no mess like that. Man, how low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? You's a low. You gonna really pull that card, man? Your kids, ain't nobody say nothing about your kids. He ain't say, how your family holding up throughout all this? I just hate my kids got to see this. Oh, man.
Oh, shoot, that's all part of it. I signed up for it. I chose it. And I'll say this, there's a lot of people in Charlotte. There's a lot of people in Charlotte who have gone way, way, way out of their way to be supportive of me, but more importantly of my wife and kids that treat us well. So, I understand it. I just hope that I can do a good enough job as the coach to put a product out there, that people feel excited about and don't want to be frustrated with.
Matt Rhule.
That's where you should have kept it at, man. It was just that simple. That's where you should have kept it at, about you and the people that want you there. Cause it is some folks that want you there. I seen an offender in this comment section. I ain't trying to say too much, cause they a repeat offender. It is some people that support you, and that's where you should have kept it at. But not to try to play the victim and make your kids the victim. They ain't even think that. They probably ain't even thinking about no football, man. I don't know. They probably is. Kids at school watching Coco Melon. Man, please. Man, please.
Us here talking about the situation with the Panthers right now. Coach, we got to talk about the quarterback situation while we have you here, and that's another one that frustrates us as Panther fans. Mm-hmm. I've looked at it like, you've gone after guys that, to a schmuck like me on the outside, it's appeared like when you signed them, well, that guy's not going to be the franchise quarterback. And you have not gone after a young one in the draft, had a chance at a Fields or a Mac Jones this year. Like, what has been the thought process on, Teddy and Sam? Because to someone like me on the outside, it looks like you're throwing darts at the wall while you're blindfolded. Like, it just looks like long shots that they will be franchise guys.
Yeah, I think the thought with Teddy 2 years ago was he was coming off. He was a first-round draft pick. He had taken his team to 13-3 in Minnesota, and then had that terrible knee injury. Had gone to New Orleans, had won 5 in a row, and so we weren't the only team. We were bidding against some other teams to try to get. He obviously knew Joe Brady's system. We thought, okay, he's a guy that can come in here, and I think part of the problem was part of the thought process was, hey, let's stabilize the position, get a good veteran in here, and then when the chance comes to draft what we think might be a franchise quarterback.
Okay, and what happened?
The numbers on hitting on franchise quarterbacks are less than 50%. I think we all know. I think it's like in the 20%.
Okay, whatever, Rain Man. Okay, then what happened?
But let's get a veteran quarterback, kind of like the Chiefs did with Alex Smith, and then if a Mahomes comes along, let's take Patrick Mahomes. So when I say Mahomes, I mean the guy in the draft. So
what is you talking about, man? Come on.
What was the thought process? Obviously Teddy. We had some close games. There was a lot of frustration with Teddy. Obviously, the people of the city love Cam Newton. Cam's awesome. Was a great player. Is a great player. Is a great teammate. Was one of my favorite parts of this year was being a part of him. There was kind of Teddy struggled through the end of the year, got banged up. We made a decision organizationally just to hey, you know what? Let's try to go get a younger quarterback now and see what happens. So obviously made some runs at some guys. Almost thought we had some guys that could have been franchise quarterbacks, to be quite honest with you. One thing I hope you guys know, I hope the fans know, is it's not just that it's not throwing darts at the wall. We have taken as many shots as possible at finding the right person that can.
Man, you terrible, dog. What is you talking about? What? Who, man? What quarterback is you talking about? Wow, what? What is you talking about? My man, Creekside Entertainment, I appreciate that cash app, bro. Man, what the heck, boy? You good at lying. Man, you gonna get people to... Man. What the heck? You throwing the dart where the dart so ain't supposed to go. You throwing darts where they ain't supposed to go.
The Super Bowl for us. So you made the trade for Sam. Felt like, the way the scouts always look at it.
No. You skipped something. Let me go back.
There was a lot of frustration with Teddy. Obviously, the people of the city love Cam Newton. Cam's awesome. Was a great player.
Okay, now it seems like he's trying to say people was frustrated with Teddy because we lost Cam Newton. Okay, that seemed like that's where he wanted to go, but then he slowed it down. And said something else.
Great player, is a great teammate. Was one of my favorite parts of this year was being a part of him.
One of my favorite parts of this year was being a part of him. What he's saying now ain't what y'all think he's saying. Oh, coaching with Cam. No. He is now trying to take credit, or I'm going to say take credit for bringing in Cam Newton. We saw that. We know early on he didn't really want Cam Newton. When he was asked about Cam Newton, you could tell by his manner he didn't really want Cam Newton here. But when we brought Cam Newton back, if you pay attention to those interviews, then he's saying stuff like, yeah, I was trying to, we talked about it, and I'm be honest, I had to make the call. Man, please. So now he's saying one of my favorite parts of the year was being a part of him. Man, please.
There was kind of, Teddy struggled through the end of the year, got banged up. We made a decision organizationally just to hey, you know what? Let's try to go get a younger quarterback now and see what happens. So obviously made some runs at some guys. Almost thought we had some guys that could have been franchise.
Okay, real quick. Now, his first reasoning for Teddy Bridgewater made all the sense in the world. It made all the sense in the world. For them to now, at the end of that season, after he got banged up and stuff, when you obviously, what you described, what you want to do with Teddy was a bridge quarterback. And you had that. If y'all sat together at a round table and say, you know what, let's go and get our young QB now. And then you get rid of the bridge quarterback. You think that makes sense? Y'all really sat around and y'all thought that made sense.
franchise quarterbacks, to be quite honest with you. One thing I hope you guys know, I hope the fans know, is no, it's not just that it's not throwing darts at the wall. We have taken as many shots as possible at finding the right person that can win a Super Bowl for us. So you made the trade for Sam. Felt like, the way the scouts always look at it is a number 2, the second-round draft pick a year from now is really like a third-round draft pick in their mind. That's been taught to me. I don't know if that's how I see it, but that was the thought process. Sam was young.
Wait a second.
There was kind of, Teddy struggled through the end of the year, got banged up.
I'm sorry I went too far back.
We made a decision organizationally just to hey, you know what? Let's try to go get a younger quarterback now and see what happens. So obviously made some runs at some guys. Almost thought we had some guys that could have been franchise quarterbacks, to be quite honest with you. One thing I hope you guys know, I hope the fans know, is no.
Okay.
It's not just that it's not throwing darts at the wall. We have taken as many shots as possible at finding the right person that can win a Super Bowl for us. So you made the trade for Sam. Felt like, the way the scouts always look at it is a number 2, the second-round draft pick a year from now is really like a third-round draft pick in their mind. That's been taught to me. I don't know if that's how I see it, but that's.
Who in the world told you that, dog? Who in the world told you that? They need to be fired. Tepper, y'all see what y'all got here? Y'all see what y'all got here? That man said a number 2 draft pick is really like a third round draft pick the next year. Most scouts, who taught you that? You really want to throw whoever told you that, you really want to throw them under the bus. Then you just said, that's not what I think. That's not what I think, but that was our thought process. So whoever idea that was, I think that's who he really wanted to throw up under. They say it's really a second round pick. No, that second round pick we gave them is more like a first round pick. You big dummy. You big dummy. And I ain't talking about your kids. I ain't talking about your wife. I ain't talking about your dog. I ain't talking about your house. I ain't talking about your friends, your cousin, none of your people. I'm talking to you. Okay? And I'm just talking about your football knowledge. You big dummy. For real. You sat up in here and said they see that as a third round pick. No. Because y'all thought y'all was going to be that nice. Yo, we going to the Super Bowl, so really that second round pick going to be a third round pick. You big dummy. Oh, my gosh.
That was the thought process. Sam was young. We thought, can we mold him? So we brought Sam in. And, as you referenced it, we haven't passed on many quarterbacks in the draft. Most of the guys, the Justin Herberts, the Joe Burrows, the Tuas, the Trevor Lawrences, they've all gone before us. The 2 quarterbacks we passed on in this year's draft were Justin Fields and Mac Jones. Mac's had a really good year. Justin's had struggled, had a tough year, but I think Justin's going to be a really good quarterback. And Sam, we just kind of put Sam in that group with those young quarterbacks. So we made that decision, and.
Y'all. This man really said the 2 quarterbacks they passed on, Mac Jones having a really good year because he with the freaking Patriots, y'all. And we know why you like Mac Jones. Justin Fields, you made a point to say, he's struggling, but one day he gonna be good. That alone, I want you gone. Just your opinion about Justin Fields. But then you go on to say you took that and you put Sam Darnold in there with those young group of guys. So basically you saying out of Sam Darnold, I want you off my team. Basically you saying out of Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, and Justin Fields. First of all, Sam Darnold, you done seen 3 years of Sam Darnold. That's the sad part about it. You didn't know what you was getting in Mac Jones at the next level. You don't know what you was getting at Justin Fields at next level. You knew what you was getting with Sam Darnold. If this your excuse, then you say, out of all three of them, you would rather have Sam Darnold. That was what you want to say. Sam Darnold looked worse than Justin Fields. Sam Darnold looked worse than Mac Jones, and Mac Jones barely doing anything. Sam Darnold's not a baby, okay? He not a baby no more. Stop it, man. Stop it. He not a rookie. You just compare him to two rookies. We put him in there with the babies. Y'all, I'm gonna get through it. 10 more minutes.
Time will tell. I think Sam looked really good for 3 games. I think Sam's last game, he played pretty well. Obviously we brought Cam in. I think Cam showed all of us the things that he can do. His impact on the team was strong. So, yeah, there's no doubt that moving forward, no matter who it is, whether it's the quarterback's on the roster, off the roster, that we need that position to play well. No one wins in the NFL without their quarterback playing well. But in terms of who we passed on, I think Mac Jones went into a really good situation that fits him. Justin went into a tough situation. Both those quarterbacks will have time to play their careers out, and we'll see how they do. Yeah. Sam's at a pivotal point in his career, and we obviously will continue to look and see, hey, what's the best thing for the Panthers at that position.
Oh Lord, Polo Sam. Sam is not at a pivotal point. That is gone. Okay, we know who Sam is now. You terrible, man. You terrible.
Christensen show you enough to be a left tackle for you guys, or is the search still on to find that left tackle?
Yeah, I think Brady showed us enough, to say that he can be a left tackle in the NFL. It's just one of those things. It's like a hierarchy, right? Like if a guy that's going to be a first-team All-Pro left tackle shows up in the draft or in free agency, Brady gives us the flexibility. I think he's a 5-position guy. So if we plug a guy in, depending on what the Panthers end up doing at 6, if it's an O-lineman there that we think is like a, day one, plug him and play him and let him start for 10-year type of a guy, then to me, Brady just instantly becomes a starter at left guard, right tackle, center. But he can play left tackle.
Jesus.
I think when you compare his games at the end of the year to some of the other tackles in the league, he looks about the same. So I say other tackles, other young tackles. So, you talk about regrets. After the Giants game, we played and he got a little overwhelmed at the end of the game. You know what? We probably should have just left him in there. We didn't want to play him too early. Didn't want to crush some of those guys, the young O-linemen's confidence. But looking back now, we probably should have played him earlier and just let him really build some momentum throughout the rest of the year, as opposed to swinging him around to different positions.
You think this is a terrible coach, y'all?
Him over there at the end of the year. He did a lot of good things. He has some things he knows he has to work on. But if you get to know him, like he's going to be your guys' type of guy. Like he's an old school tough guy. He's going to work at it. So, and like I said, when I say the process, I feel good about the process. Like I know now that okay, I've got another guy that I know can start on the offensive line. Hey, let's go find another player, whether it's a guy like Deontay Brown, develop him, or draft or sign one in free agency that can take us from where we are now to having one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
All right, Coach, I want to make sure I ask you this one question because you took a ton of time. I don't want to take up your whole day here, but I feel like I have to ask about Cam. I know that a lot of fans are out there thinking, hey, I want to hear what he says about Cam.
Man, this dude is a beast.
A couple of things. How do you feel about the Cam experience? Do you regret bringing him in because it didn't go the way I think a lot of us thought it was going to go? And is there a role for him moving forward, or is this, Cam said, hey, if I'm out of here, I got closure? Like, how do you feel about the way it just didn't work out and whether or not there's a future?
Well, look, I'll say this. Okay, so I met with Cam on, I guess it was Tuesday. And, and we both agreed, hey, take some time and let's get together with Scott, Cam and his people, us, and let's all come together and let's do this the right way and have a face-to-face, hey, here's how we see it. Hey, Cam, here's how do you see it? That being said, I think Cam walked into a really, really hard situation. I mean, he walked into a team that at the time was 4-5. We went to 5-5 at Arizona. Obviously, PJ started that game, but Cam did a lot of things in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had that Washington game, and it was almost like a playoff game. I mean, the atmosphere in the stadium was awesome. I think it was electric. It was like going back to the Saints game, and really, did enough for offensively to win, and then just defensively just had one of those days where just couldn't make the stop. And then at the end of the game, they couldn't go down and win it. I think Cam was put in a really hard position to come in to learn an offense, and the offense, it wasn't like he was coming in and taking over the 10th ranked offense. He was taking over the 28th, 29th, 30th ranked offense, the things that we've already talked about, and trying to start over from scratch and learn that. And I think he brought a lot to us. I think he showed what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
He moved the football. He ran the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He was powerful at the point of attack. Did a great job with RPOs.
Mm-hmm.
There were some really, really good moments. And but most importantly, I think his impact on the team. I think after having gone to New England and come back, I think his leadership, his holding the young guys accountable. Because when you have the second, third, or fourth youngest team, coming out of the 53-man cut, you're counting on like Stephon Gilmore. You're counting on Cam Newton to say to the young guys, "Hey, no, guys, this is how you do it." And that's one of the things that we haven't had. We've got some great guys like Shaq Thompson, Matt Paradis, Chris McCaffrey, but a guy like Cam is an entity unto himself. And
right.
So, I don't want to speculate on the future because I've said to him, "Hey, we'll have that conversation." And he said to me, "Hey, Coach, let's have that conversation, just us." But I believe that Cam Newton can still play football, and I believe that I would want Cam Newton on any team that I coached. If I was coaching anywhere now, I would say, "Hey, let's bring that guy to this team because he is a winner and he is an alpha and he is a guy that does things the right way." So while the results in terms of on the field as a team were not what they want, the impact Cam I think had on the locker room, on the mindset, was really, really, really important. And I think moving forward, he has good football left in him. I just think there's a lot of things that have to be done, and they have to be done the right way between the Panthers and Cam to make a decision about where he is, moving forward and what he wants to do.
Okay,
Coach. One more question for you. Don't want to take up your entire day here, but you have an OC search going on right now. I don't expect you to name off the guys you're talking to or the names you may want, but what traits are you looking for in your next offensive coordinator?
Yeah, and I'll say, I think the one thing, that we all have to know is because of the way searches have gone since COVID, where now everything's pretty much virtual to start, where you used to maybe interview 3 people in the first round and, narrow it down, or 4 people and narrow it down. I have an opportunity now to talk to some of the best minds in football and talk to 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. And so that's what we did last year in the GM search. And we learned a lot about, how other organizations are functioning. And that's kind of what we're doing now. So, I've wanted somebody who is adaptable to the personnel that we have. As the head coach, I don't want to be standing on the sidelines next to a really good football player that's not touching the football or not playing a ton because, hey, I'm kind of stuck in, hey, this is my system. And so I want an offensive coordinator who has similar beliefs as us. We have a good defense. We need to be able to run the football. We need to be able to win situational football, third down and in the red zone. We need to be able to protect the ball and protect the people who carry the ball, like the quarterback. So if we can protect the quarterback, if we can protect the ball, if we can run, if we're good in situations, then I think that's great. I think the one thing that, you go through this process, guys, everybody in the NFL runs pretty much the same plays. You're interviewing these guys. They all kind of, well, here's my passing game, here's my run game, here's my protections. It's all sort of the same families or within 2 or 3 families of football. So I'm looking at somebody who sees the game in terms of, hey, who's my quarterback? I'm going to make him successful. Hey, who do I have? I have DJ. Okay, I have Robbie. I have CMC. I have Ian. I have Tommy. I want to utilize those guys and make sure that when people come to playoffs, they're defending all of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of the mindset. I love it to be someone that's got some experience doing it. Until you've been a head coach or until you've been an OC and you've stood in the fire and made decisions and had people say, hey, why'd you do that? Until you've made the right decision and had to stand by it, or made the wrong decision and had to admit it. it's really hard. And so for me, I'd love to have somebody that has that experience, but I'm also gonna talk to as many people as possible to get as many ideas as possible. So that's very generic, vanilla.
Be honest with you, I would love to have a head coach with that experience too. I'll be honest with you. I would love to have that too, Matt. So we agree on something.
But at the same time, I'm trying to find somebody that has experience, but also takes advantage of the personnel that we do have, not the things that we don't have.
All right, Coach. You spent a ton of time with us. We really appreciate all the questions. I'm sure aren't the most fun questions you've ever been asked, but I appreciate you coming on and answering them, not just for us, but most importantly for the fans. Thank you for doing it, Coach.
If you need an OC, Mac and I can help out too. We know football pretty well. A lot of Madden over here, Coach, if you need it.
I think, guys, I would love it. Absolutely love it.
We'll put on a neck roll, too, like old school. Yeah,
Coach, that's not going to help your standing with the fans if you hire these two idiots here you're talking to. All right, Coach, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you.
Y'all can go to WFNC website and listen to that. That was very, very aggravating. Shout out to Matt Rhule. He did end it on a good, at least it was a good note. He started to make sense at the end, especially with the Cam Newton stuff. Especially with the OC stuff. That's the kind of stuff we want too, Matt. I just don't feel like you're going to be the guy to be able to get it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like you're going to be the guy to be able to get it. As far as the Cam Newton situation, again, the way I feel about it, I ain't want Cam Newton to come back here, man. I hope them talks go terrible. You hear me? I hope them talks go terrible. I hope it just completely collapse in that daggone meeting room. You know? For real, for real. Don't come back here, Cam. But I did like what you said about Cam, and it's the truth. I hope you believe it. Don't just be saying what the Cams. I mean, I said the Cam. The fans want you to say. Don't just be saying that. I want you to believe that. And I want all the Panther fans who was hating on Cam, and you love Matt Rhule. He just said it himself. Cam came into a bad situation. It was in a bad situation. I was waiting for him to flip it. I was waiting on him to flip it. But he didn't. He didn't. You hear me? You want to be Jay-Z so bad. Trill would say, they telling him, we don't believe you. You need more people. Facts. Little Skins, what's going on? Jay Prey. He say a bum. Is like I'm like that interview was exhausting, man. But again, shout out to Mac Attack, man. Shout out to all them folks over there. They ask all the good questions, dog. That's why they own radio. They do this stuff professionally, man. And I admire that kind of stuff, to be able to interview players like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not players, interview people like that. They asked all the good questions. It didn't seem like it was coming from a bad place, because if I would have asked them, y'all would have known it was, like, dang, why he being so hard on them? They asked the questions, and Matt Rhule didn't know he was getting thrown hard questions. You know what I'm saying? And he just kind of flowed with it. Shout out to Matt Rhule. He hung in there. He was stuttering like a mug. You know what I'm saying? He started sounding like it was chopped and screwed. You know what I'm saying? He hung in there and he answered those questions. And I'm glad you answered them. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with your answers. I appreciate the transparency. You really showing me who you are. I appreciate the validation. But that ain't me saying, you know what, I want you to stay here. That don't even make sense to me. And you Panther fans who really support this guy and want him to stay because of that, it don't make sense, man. It do not make sense. Big Cat Sister, what's going on with you? Filthy Collins, what's going on with you? Beer says Matt will have a wonderful career selling used cars in Texas. He talks like one. He gonna talk his way into another job, man. He gonna talk his way into another job. I just don't want him here no more. Alger Sperrell, what's up with you, man? You look bad out here, man. You look, and you not only do you look bad, you got us looking bad. Tepper, he got you looking bad, man. He got you. Excuse me, y'all. He got you looking bad, man. Don't make no doggone sense. But I hope y'all pay attention and y'all understand now that He never going to get it. Never going to get it, man. When you listen to talking about this offensive line, the offensive line not going to get fixed. The offensive line is not going to get fixed. It's not going to get fixed. The quarterback situation is not going to get fixed. When you look at the quarterbacks in the draft, when you look at the quarterbacks in this past draft, and you decide to go with Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold is the future now. See, you kind of threw me off when you let Teddy Bridgewater go. When you traded Teddy Bridgewater, you threw me off because I thought you was just didn't like what you had in Teddy Bridgewater and you just wanted another bridge quarterback. No, you really trying to make Sam Darnold the future. You are really trying to make Sam Darnold the future, and you made that known whenever you picked up that option. Yo, look, guys, we have been trying. Y'all ain't been trying, man. Y'all ain't been trying to pick up no quarterback. KJ Longway said, got Tepper looking like someone who became a billionaire off of a PPP loan. I had asked that yesterday, like, Tepper, you can't be this dumb, man. You make me feel like you doing something. You did something real grimy to become a millionaire. For real, if you allowing this to happen, or then again, like I said, Tepper might be a gambler. And then where you really make money is you do what everybody else. You do something that everybody else ain't doing. So you think this how it's gonna work. Oh, I got a steal here. I'm just hang in there. Diamond hands. I'm just hanging there. Man, please. Leroy Miller say Matt and Scott act like man and wife. I'm waiting for Scott. They say Scott interview at 2. They said Scott Fitterer interview at 2. I want to hear what Scott got to say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be the same way with Scott. I want to hear him say, but I bet you, I'm telling y'all, they all make the decisions, man. Y'all hit that like button one time. We about to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all joining me for this impromptu live, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better enjoy this. Because y'all know whenever I do back-to-back lives and be going on people's shows, man, I take a break. But, you know, I was planning on doing stuff like this anyway, you know, since this is my last season. So I did plan on giving y'all a few lives. Brandon Malone says, Tep living foul. I wouldn't even be surprised. Yeah, man. Again, go watch that on WFNZ. If you want to watch it all the way through without my stopping it and complaining, it was dope. All right, y'all, let me go and get up out of here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter at Pat Coltrane. Hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/Pat Coltrane. Y'all hit that notification bell. Y'all see what happened, right? You know what I'm saying? Just randomly did the live. I wasn't even planning on doing it. You know what? Matter of fact, make sure you got that notification bell hit because Scott going live at 2. Not going live, but he got an interview at 2. I'm going to make sure I listen to that one. And we're going to break that one down too. You hear me? If you want to support the channel, you can always hit the Cash App, $ the train stop, or PayPal, paypal.me/Pat Coltrane. All right? Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Y'all enjoy y'all lunch. Man, I got to go find me something to eat. And we'll see y'all later. All right, I'm gone.